Union 51, Mini 51. Response 1163, Club Pike. Reported structure fire. Timeout 1228.
Hi, thanks for joining us today in this episode of Fire Chat. I'm Lieutenant Travis Brown with the Union Township Fire Department. Today in studio we have two recovery coaches with us today, Jessica Johnson and Janie Steele. Thank you for coming out today. Today we're going to talk about the QRT team, which is through the Claremont Recovery Center. So Jessica, can you tell us about what the Quick Response Team is and what they do?
Of course, yeah. So back January 5th, we began the Quick Response Team in Union Township. And basically, we saw a need in the community that we needed some sort of a different approach to how we were coping with the opiate epidemic that was happening in Claremont County. So basically what we did was we looked at some different models that were going on, and there was something happening in Colerain Township where they were going out and seeing someone who had just overdosed or struggled with alcohol or drug addiction right after the incident had occurred. And they were intervening in their treatment process and allowing them to get into treatment more successfully. So we thought, well, why don't we try this out in Claremont County? So what we did was we looked at the different maps where overdoses were happening, high levels of Narcan were being administered, and we decided that with the cooperation from Union Township EMS and Fire Department, as well as Claremont Recovery Center, we thought this would be like a prime location to begin the process. We saw a high need, and so with the location being at 275 and 32, we thought, well, this is a great location to begin. And so since you guys at Union Township Fire and EMS decided to collaborate in this, we've been able to go out on Mondays and Thursdays. We start about 10 a.m. and we go see individuals who might have had an issue the prior few days. So if somebody overdosed on a Saturday, we'd go see them Monday morning at 10 a.m. at their residence and try to engage them and try to get them into services, whether that's residential, detox, outpatient services, or just support. And so who all goes on the runs is basically we have two individuals that are one of us and the recovery coaches. We have 5 of us on the team, and we are all in recovery ourselves. So what we'll bring to the table is that not only can we collaborate to get them into the services that they might need, but we can also share our journey and active addiction and then what recovery looks like for us and be there for support, because sometimes individuals really need to hear that someone else has made it through that path. And so we go out on Mondays and Thursdays, like I said, and usually what we try to do is bring them into whatever service is appropriate for them by using an alternative way than what has generally been done in treatment.
Now, it's 2 coaches, and then also Lieutenant Matt Terrell from Union Township Fire Department. So it's just you 3, or is it always 2 coaches and Lieutenant Terrell, or?
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And so we rotate with the 5 people that are on the team. We just try to figure out 2 people go a different day. Maybe the next day it's 2 different people, but usually we stay with one specific medic.
Okay.
And typically, when Matt Terrell goes with us, he'll knock on the door and he will make the introduction, sort of make that smooth transfer, and then we can talk to them. Sometimes we share our experience or just see where they're at and what they feel like their needs are, what their motivation is, and what kind of services they are interested in and what they're willing to do.
Okay. So going from the typical QRT run, you said the incident happened, and I know that the paramedics on scene, once everything has settled down, we talk to the patient, we tell them this option is available. We have a paper for them to sign, and then that comes back, and then that gets forwarded to Lieutenant Terrell, and then he forwards that to you or contacts you So once you get that notification, what steps do you take to start that process?
Well, typically we meet with Matt here, and we all go over that paperwork that he has with the information about the patient before we go out to see them. So we'll meet with Matt and we'll talk about the actual run and what happened and kind of do, I guess, a pre-assessment to see, what kind of situation we're looking at and what kind of needs that they might have. They've already signed the release for us to be able to come, so they do know that we're coming. So it's not a surprise that we just show up at their door. They've said, yes, we do want help, so someone will be coming to talk to us. And then since we've already gone over those things, before we go in and we talk to them. If they aren't there, we leave a bag of information for them with our cards and office numbers so that they can still call us to get services, because they don't always answer the door when we come. And we will still continue to try to be in contact with them, to call them or to go back the next time we go on a run, to go back and see if they're available then.
Okay. I think it's important to let the people know that there are no law enforcement officials involved. Just out of the, it's just you two and then Lieutenant Terrell. What all services can people reach out to you for?
It's different for each client. It's different and it's very individualized. So like I said, when we go over, when we meet with them and the initial assessment that we go over before we meet with them, it depends on their needs and their motivation. So it could be, we can help with their basic needs, like food, clothing, shelter, things like that. But then we also have access to resources to get someone into a detox program at Mercy Claremont, and we have access to get them. We have the foot in the door and a lot of connections to residential treatment if that's something that they're interested in, or outpatient services. Claremont Recovery Center offers outpatient services and medication-assisted treatment like Vivitrol and Suboxone. Is there anything I left out? Anything you want to add to that?
No, I think you covered it pretty much. I think really what we try to do is we look at the big picture for the individual, and yes, we can probably get them into treatment, but if they don't have support in the background, or they're afraid to go to like a 12-step meeting or something like that, we're willing to go with them there.
Yes.
So.
One other thing I wanted to put out, that this is just not in Union Township. This is, every community is facing this type of challenge right now. Do you go outside of Union Township?
Oh, of course. So the actual quick response team, we usually only get names of individuals who have had a situation occur in Union Township, but we will work with anybody in Clermont County or out of Clermont County. There's been situations where we've had someone who has been leaving the hospital that was in Clermont County, but they're a resident of Hamilton County. So we're not going to turn anybody away, but basically what we'll do is we'll connect them to whatever resources they would best be successful with.
Okay. Can you give us an example of some of the success stories? I mean, I know this is a young program, but you've had success already. And when did you say you started this?
January 5th.
January 5th. So
2 months.
yeah.
Yeah, so actually, the very first individual that we were able to make contact with, we were able to use a lot of different resources that we have our hands in, which was really helpful. So basically, this individual had overdosed on opiates. It was a Wednesday evening. We were able to go out on our quick response team run that very next morning, Thursday morning at like 10 a.m. So we were able to go into the household where there was family members and the individual. Since we had 2 recovery coaches, we were able to kind of split up a little bit, and one person kind of took on the family and offered resources for them. The other person was able to help out the individual with the addiction and kind of help them out. And then from there, what we did was we were able to coordinate them to come get an assessment in an outpatient facility. We were able to coordinate detox the very next day for them to go into. So by Friday, they were in a detox facility with a plan for treatment. When they got out, we were able to continue staying in contact with them and monitor them, able to get them connected to medication-assisted treatment for Vivitrol, and where they were able to get their first injection within 2 weeks after their overdose. So the process went pretty smooth because of the different connections that we had with resources, and because we were able to stay in contact with every step of the way.
Okay. What challenges have you faced when you get there? Are people very cautious about opening up to you?
Sometimes.
And then,
I think sometimes they are. I think one of the things that is important to know is that we are all in recovery. All of the recovery coaches are in recovery, and sometimes that makes a difference. Well, once we're able to share our story and our hope, and that we've walked not only the struggle, but also walked through recovery, that gives them a little bit of hope. And I think they're a little more open to sharing with us when they see someone that says, wow, they've actually been here in my shoes, instead of coming at me from the standpoint of, you know, I'm up here, I've never been through this, but I've read a lot of books and I really want to help you. And that seems to make a big difference. I think probably the biggest challenge is just when someone's not there when we respond, because so far, when we've gone in and we've shared our experience, most people have been very receptive to this. And especially because we aren't there to force you to go to treatment. We aren't forcing you to do anything. We really are whatever you need. Even if you say, I don't know that I want to get clean today, I'm still struggling, we're still there as support so that we can be there as support when you are ready. And then once they're able to see, okay, they aren't pressuring me, they aren't making me do this, that makes it a little easier as well.
Yeah. I'd like to add to that too. Every single person that we have come in contact with Quick Response Team and actually been able to speak with them and engage with them about our process, what we've been through and what they're going through, they've at least made it in to do an assessment at a treatment facility. There's the situations where they don't answer the door, they don't answer the phone, and we continue to check on them, but every single person that we've actually made contact with has come in for an assessment at some agency.
And
Awesome.
another thing, I think you mentioned the family earlier. You know, we've had a couple of individuals that we've gone out to see, and they aren't there, but their family is. And their family, this, you know, addiction is so destructive to not just that individual, but to the family. So we've been there to offer support to the family, because there are resources in Claremont County to offer support to families. So I think that's kind of an important piece too, that even if the client isn't there, there's still a little bit of a bridge built because of making that connection with the family.
Maybe we could mention that too. One of the resources we utilize is Claremont County Solace. They meet at the Hope Center in Amelia at 4 Cecilia Drive every second and fourth Wednesday of the month at 7 o'clock. I'm sorry, 6
I
o'clock.
think it's from 6
to 8.
o'clock.
And they actually just started a Solace Junior, so if an individual comes, like a mom or a dad or something, and they have a little one and they're kind of concerned about them, they have a little program going on for the youth.
now, anyone can reach out for help, correct?
Absolutely.
And we will put the address and the phone number and everything up so that people at home can have it. But if you want to tell them, you know, where you guys are located at, and your phone number.
So I think it's really important that we really stress that this is not, don't wait until you overdose to utilize this service, because these services are available. The outreach team, which is what we are a part of, is actually located inside of Claremont Recovery Center, which is at 1088 Wasserman Way in Batavia, Ohio, 45103. And we have open access where you can walk in and actually get an assessment. Those hours are Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday from 8:30 a.m. until 2:30 p.m., Wednesday from 8:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m., and Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. And then you can call the main line anytime. The phone number is 513-735-8100, and ask for a member of the outreach team.
Great, thank you. Anything else that you think, I mean, now's your time to get any information out there that you want. Anything you want to add?
Of course. The other thing I want to throw out is that just because we are housed out of Claremont Recovery Center, we understand that not everybody is a perfect fit for Claremont Recovery Center. So what we try to do is our team goes out and tours different facilities. We've gone out to Portsmouth and toured all of theirs one day. We go out to sober living homes in Hamilton County and tour their facilities. So truly, if an individual is not fit for outpatient services at Claremont Recovery Center, we get that and we can help coordinate them to whatever is the best fit. Doesn't matter if they have certain insurances or whatever, we'll try to make it the best possible option for them.
And I'm glad that you brought up insurance, because I think that's another thing. People think help is not available because I don't have insurance. That is not the case. We can work with anyone. we can either help you to get insurance, or we can find resources where insurance is not necessary. So I think that's another really important thing to get out there.
And to piggyback off of that, the outreach team is a service that is free to anyone.
absolutely.
You don't have to be a client at any agency or have a specific insurance. We don't bill, we are just there for help. Another option at Claremont Recovery Center for anyone in Claremont County is that you are able to come in and get a free Narcan kit. That is the medication that can help reverse an opiate overdose, should it happen. If you have somebody in your family that is struggling with an opiate addiction, it might be very beneficial just to have on hand just in case. So feel free to come into our agency and just say at the front desk you're interested in getting a Narcan kit, and that when the nurse is available, you'll get one.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
I would like to take this time to thank Jessica Johnson and Janie Steele for coming in today, sharing their story and getting this information out there for anyone who is struggling with addiction. There is help out there. All you have to do is come forward, and these ladies will get you going in the right direction to recovery.
Thank you so much for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Thanks
It
for
was our
coming out.
pleasure.
You're welcome.
Thanks for joining us today.